So now we're gonna change gears a little bit, okay? Because now what I want you to, I've never seen this before. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm just not in the loop with somebody else, but I haven't seen an individual pushed on the algorithm as much as Andrew Tate. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know who he is, then it's shocking because he's fucking everywhere. And just particularly his style and the message he gives out, but also his lifestyle. He's rich, you know what I'm saying? He's got all the attributes. When you talk about chosen ones, for example, you know what I'm saying? He was chosen for that role, the role he's playing. Which in actuality, he chose himself, you know what I'm saying? And whatever you're doing, you're the chosen one for whatever it is that you're doing now. A lot of people talk about chosen ones. I'm the chosen one. But if somebody was to ask you, what are you the chosen one of? You're like, I'm the chosen one of the, let's say, 144,000. It's something in the future that hasn't even happened yet. You know what I'm saying? But you're not chosen to say, I'm chosen for what I'm doing now. No, you're chosen for doing what it is that you're doing. And if it's nothing, then you're chosen for a hell of a lot of nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the position you're in. You're chosen for that. So you choose yourself. You choose the role that you want to play in life if you want to play the game. You get what I'm saying? However, in this particular pivotal point in time, it is so valuable, all right, to realize that there is so much more, all right, than what is presented to you as far as the luxuries of life. You get what I'm saying? Lux, you see the word in luxury, you see the word lux, and this is the measure of light. This is false light. Nothing wrong with it though. You get what I'm saying? This is the type of light that you play with. It's something that you can use as tools. You get what I'm saying? But you don't worship these lights or materialistic gains in life. However, I've already made examples that when you're doing something in life of passion, that money ain't a thing, right? And you ain't chasing money. You're doing your passions, and your gifts and talents are done by you because only you know how to do them better than anybody else. Money will just be the after effect. You get what I'm saying? People, places, and things. If you choose yourself to be popular, if you choose you could do that. You would just have to know certain things to get in, like a combination in the safe. It looks impossible to get in, but with a simple combination, you can get in that safe. You get what I'm saying? In everything you're doing, there's always a combination of things that you're going to be doing. A combo. You could be in a fight. Somebody is blocking and holding guard against you. With the right sequences, which sequences of events and combinations, you can open up their guard. All right? And then you're in. And once you're in, you own that person. You know what I'm saying? So, in life, it's the same way. However, wasting your time going for these illusionary things, all right? Because you're an illusion as well. But if you're chasing these things, you're missing the mark. And there is really no mark, to be honest with you. But there is something greater than what you see here. Again, you can only see a certain percent. You get what I'm saying? Wake up to the game, and you can play in the game and have as much fun as you want. Attract and manifest and do all that fly shit. You know what I'm saying? But what are you giving your energy to? Your energy. We look at money as energy, the physical manifestation of energy, and we say we invest our money into things for profit, to help it grow for whatever projects or businesses you have. You invest your time, and this is energy. You know what I'm saying? What are you giving energy to see grow? You know, a lot of times we put most of that into jobs, into mundane relationship problems and all this kind of shit, that you leave yourself drained at the end. So your bank account is kind of empty. You get what I'm saying? And then you're broke. But see, when you're sick, for example, like you're not really sick, you're going through healing symptoms, right? But beforehand, you have something called check engine lights, which are like little symptoms. And of course, you address those things so you don't end up broken. You don't break down, right? So you address these things. You have a check engine light on your car. You don't just go cut the check engine light. You address the issue by putting it on a scanner, get the trouble code, replace the part, check engine light is gone. You don't just go cut the check engine light, right? Because you go to a mechanic because your check engine light is on, but he doesn't cut the check engine light. He finds out why the check engine light went on. So do this in life overall. You get what I'm saying? You're not broken, but also when you see the word broke, meaning like your finances are low and whatnot, start addressing the symptoms and see what it is that you're investing your money in, what investing your time in. If you don't feel fulfilled, what are you investing your time in that you could be doing better? It takes like a little self-audit. See, accountability. You notice how when you have so much money, you hire an accountant, right? And they manage your finances. When you have a lot of energy or a lot of money, you can hire people to do things for you. You hear what I'm saying? But in the beginning, for now, you would have to, and that would be, and look, we don't talk about other people, you know, taking accountability for your life. This is basically, you're working with God here. You get what I'm saying? Whatever God means to you. God is all things, but it's also all possibilities. Like I told you, I have a garden, but I set it up in a way where I'm not working for the garden. The garden works for me. You see what I'm saying? And the way it's working for me is because I have it set up the way it's set up in nature. Nobody waters or fertilizes trees in nature, right? But the soil is conditioned a certain way. So all I did was I took the nature's path, nature's way of doing things. And now the garden works for me. I don't have to work for the garden. So the same way you manage your accounts and your finances or your life, you take accountability, you take responsibility, you have discipline. That's you being in God frequency. You're taking the accountability, right? And now you're the accountant. And you're going to see how you conduct yourself in society afterwards. You know? Because if you look at it, you have a conductor on a train, and if you notice the word train, that word is used to train you at work. You train yourself in the gym. They mentally train you. if you're consuming some horrible information, I mean, this is mental training to some extent. They had you training in active isolation, which is a training now for nuclear bombs, because we have these wars going on. Now they train you just in case of a nuclear bomb or nuclear warfare or whatnot. See, all these things is just, it's mental warfare. You get what I'm saying? So again, once you start to, it's not to devalue anything outside of you or to overvalue it. It's just to use everything as tools. But without it, then I would not. Let me say this again. These tools, what good are they if you ain't using them, right? See, these tools like money, people, for example, are considered tools, and resources for some extent. You can actually build. You can do things with them. It's like you know, somebody asked me one time, you know, what's the best fat burner you got? And I told him, I was like, there is no best fat burner. There's just some that are more expensive. Some are a little more cheaper, but the more expensive ones just have a just more expensive formulation as far as ingredients go. Because the herbs may be a little bit more exotic. They may have a time release formulation. The pill itself may be formulated a certain way for it to have a time release effect and not have a half-life in your system. So I explained this to this person, but I also told them that the price or the exoticness of the fat burner is not what's going to make you lose weight faster. I mean, if you're still eating Dunkin' Donuts and Popeyes, I can give you a $900 fucking fat burner. It's not going to work. While somebody buys a $10 fat burner and lives a strict diet, dialed in diet, a conducive lifestyle with exercise, structured routines, you know what I'm saying, stress-free, proper rest, that fat burner that's $10 is going to work more than your $900 fat burner, because these are not magic pills. They're just tools, right? They give you a boost. They help you. I made the example in one of my previous videos I just posted about a pre-workout. Yeah, they have long-term negative effects if you abuse them, right? But initially, I mean, if you look at the pros of it, it gets you up off of your ass to go work out and burn some fat if that's the issue. You get what I'm saying? So it's about using things and then just let it go. The tool ran it used this purpose, but you don't. It's not a crutch. You don't use it as a crutch. You don't have it where you depend on it, and because there's some people who cannot work out unless they take the pre-workout. They're like, fuck, I ran out of pre-workout. Fuck, I gotta go to the gym, but I left my pre-work. Who gives a fuck? You get what I'm saying? Who gives a fuck? That's how you know it's a crutch, and it's actually now something that you became dependent on, and you think that this is what's gonna give you the gains. Fuck, I don't have protein, you know? But it's not. So everything in life is tools. You get what I'm saying? They're not above you. Food, for example, whether you're eating foods of like imbalanced chemistry, you know what I'm saying? Even that's considered a tool, even though that food appears to be unhealthy. Everything is a tool. I've already made videos where I said reprogram your food or redefine the meaning of things in your life. You get what I'm saying? Where you program what it is that you take. You want to eat a burger, right? Well, I mean, you program that burger to what it is that you want it to do in your system. I also said in one of my previous videos that talk to your body as if you were the CEO of a business, because you're minding your business now. You know what I'm saying? So you talk to your cells, each organ. Those are centers, let's say different departments. Then you got the organs that co-govern by the chakras. You know what I'm saying? Then we look at the stuff outside, the planets, right? So none of those things, first of all, outside would exist unless you collapse them into existence. Like, there's many different people who come out with so many different theories, you know what I'm saying, as far as to how things are in life. But in actuality, because you thought of it, it exists. If not, you would have never thought of it. You get what I'm saying? So the things we observe outside of us, we can use that as a map and blueprint of what's inside of us. But we can only see so far, right? Because this is actually proven that our brain has more neural pathways and more of a chemistry and more of a mechanism to it than there are stars in the sky, which only means that there's more to what we see out here as far as lights. Even though that's one form of light, imagine the luxury, which is the false light, the lowest level that you can possibly go in. Yet it's not something to look at and demonize it. It's more for stability. No different than you looking at your lower chakra, the root chakra, and saying, oh, that's the lower animalistic nature, and then just focusing on the ones on top. But the thing is that a tree won't be healthy unless those roots are strong. So an imbalanced way of looking at your root chakra, yeah, it would be lust, envy, jealous, and stuff like that. Greed. But if it's a balanced root chakra, then you would have stability. You would have work, what do you call that shit? Work ethics and stuff like that. Like your stable foundation. You know what I'm saying? You can go online and look at an imbalanced root chakra and a balanced root chakra, an imbalanced sacral and a balanced sacral, a imbalanced solar and a balanced solar. You know what I'm saying? Or even an imbalanced heart and a balanced heart. All of them could be imbalanced or imbalanced. Even your throat, your third eye, it could be balanced or imbalanced. You get what I'm saying? Because the third eye you think is just to see something because it's called an eye, but it's not. You, with that eye, you could tell if somebody's bullshitting you. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the intuition is like you see how you hear heart-brain coherence? You have something where this intuition works with that gut feeling. So it's like everything's working in harmony as one organism, not isolation. Like they teach you fucking everything outside as far as chemistry works. You know what I'm saying? They take the herbs from your yard, isolate the chemistry just like they do with supplements. Everything is all isolated chemistry, repackage it and sell it back to you. When in actuality, it's not like that. There's a chemistry, but they destroy it, completely denature, change the molecular structure, isolate it. That's not how it works. That's why the body has a hard time recognizing synthetic vitamins when you take them in. That's why you pee nuclear yellow. You get what I'm saying? Because it's not synthetic. It's not organic. It's not natural. It didn't come from nature's blueprint, which is where you come from. You come from the soil. You die, you go back to the soil. You know what I'm saying? But either way, that's all I wanted to cover in this video. It was just basically, where I started off with the whole Andrew Tate thing was because when you see something like that, I like Andrew Tate. He's got a lot of great information, man. Phenomenal dude, looks good. Everything about him is just basically what he was chosen for, or he chose himself, or you choose him because of you're actually observing him. You know what I'm saying? But he's me. He's another version of me. You get what I'm saying? And the whole thing is that when you study the combinations and the blueprints of how things are made out here, for example, you don't reinvent the wheel on how to fly, right? It's already done, but you just use that flying now as a tool to get you from point A to B and do what you got to do with it. You know what I'm saying? That's just an example, even though it may have been a dumb example. But there's certain things that are already made. But the whole thing is that you don't copy. It's no different than if you listen to information, you don't regurgitate information. In actuality, you listen, you process it, and then you see, based upon how you processed it, it became your information now. And then you're able to express it and put it into words for everybody to hear. You get what I'm saying? So when you're doing things outside, it's not to copy somebody else's style. No, it's not that. It's to study those combinations, those sequences, right? Start to look at your life, and then you start to see how things can work for you and how they cannot work for you based on the position you're in. It's like you trying to buy a Bugatti, but you're not financially stable enough to buy a Bugatti even though you had the money, right? Now you just created a problem. I made this example in one of my previous videos where I felt like Donald Trump, and my perception was that I felt that rich because I was making a good amount of money, but what I was paying as far as bills were low compared to the income I was making. I could have afforded a much bigger place and a much more expensive car, but then my perception as far as the money I was making wouldn't have appeared to be boatloads of money, or wouldn't have made me feel like as if I was Donald Trump. You get what I'm saying? The whole thing is that once you can put yourself in a position where you're managing your finances in a way where you get more than what you're actually responsible for, then it's easier to actually have your perception and put yourself in a more of a position of power because you got extra resources and you can use those extra resources to invest. No different than if you're eating foods of a simpler chemistry, right? Then your body doesn't have to use so much energy to metabolize this food, and now it's using that energy, right, to detox the body, or even creativity, right? Because think about this, when you're fasting, let's say especially if you're fasting on a fucking food that's native to your land, like I fasted on muscadines, and believe it or not, the creativity is fucking out the roof. You get what I'm saying? But I'm in the land of the native to that fruit, and the ideas are readily available for me, and I'm filtering it, right? But in a balanced way, by not fucking up the philosophies behind what I'm fucking saying or anything like that, and I'm able to process information a lot easier. But this is energy. So your body now uses that energy that it would have had to use to metabolize to detox the body, clean the filters out of the fucking garbage that it has, and now use it for, again, creativity. You go to jobs, you know what I'm saying? And every day, if you're doing a blue collar job, you're using your physical energy and stressing yourself out of that position, right? And probably eating unhealthy foods, because most of the time in those jobs, I used to work in blue collar jobs, you had something like these coffee trucks that come and they sell you the food. You know what I'm saying? But they sell you burgers, fucking fries, and a bunch of junk food. You know what I'm saying? That's basically sold. And the thing is, let's say even if you didn't want to eat like these people, it would require a high level of discipline because you're around those people and you're going to be smelling that food all the time. So you're in the lunchroom with these people eating together because you all go to lunch basically at the same time, and you're going to be eating fruits while they're eating burgers and shit like that. The job is very strenuous. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're using, and if you're eating simple food, yeah, you can use the energy, but you're using it for a job. You get what I'm saying? Which you may also lose a little bit of weight. You get what I'm saying? Because it's not high calorie like you would if you were eating like junk food and whatnot. But then again, if you were working a white collar job, that's a lot of mental energy that you're using. You know what I'm saying? Where you have the ability to use simple foods, but you're still using that chemistry on something that it's not what your mind was designed to be used for. It's not your business. It's somebody else's business. And you're using it based on creativity of a job. Like they hire you based on your work ethics, credentials, plus your creative attributes. Because I was a hiring manager and I wanted to see how creative somebody could be to basically impact my business. You get what I'm saying? But if you have your own business and you use these attributes in your own business to your own passions and to your own gifts and talents, I mean, sky's the limit. You get what I'm saying? You're not on a secure, stable paycheck. You basically determine how much money you want to make based on how much service you provide for others. And again, service is not to be looked at as good or bad. It's just neutral. Service is service. I just made that example in my previous video. You know what I'm saying? So this is like a 3-part where I recorded all this in like one day. So I may put these, spaced out and like you know, an upload a day and whatnot. I don't want to put too many up in one shot. But that's all I wanted to cover for this video. You know, weigh the information. Weigh the information that you're coming across, right? You weigh information. There's much more, I mean, to this. You get what I'm saying? But use this as a tool. You're here experiencing it. It's I mean, I'm telling you, it's a real fabulous experience. If you really sit down and look at it, it's fabulous, and yet you can still see the ugliness in it. But because of all the ugliness, you can more experience and actually see more of the beauty in it. So this is why everybody's fucking waking up, because they're starting to appreciate more of the beauty because of the heinousness in it. You get what I'm saying? But in actuality too, I mean, it's trauma. And trauma puts you in a state where, I mean, you waking up to shit. You wake up and you move, you know? Anyway, we'll talk soon. Like if you liked it, and leave anything in the comments. If you have any questions, we'll talk soon.